we discovered a hibernating alien mothership. Now, the Karn are awake, and they want to plunder our precious natural teams of special operatives to defend Earth from the alien threat. They are the final faction.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar, and today we'll talk to you about this final faction toy line in a world where collectors are obsessed with $100 masterpiece transformers or $25 to $50 G.I. Joe classifieds. Kids need a toy line, and this is a kids toy line. And could collectors collect it? Of course, heck yeah, they could. And I've got a lot to say about this, but I'm going to take a look at this. The Elite, it's like the repaint, recolors of these figures. They were originally put out in a certain color scheme. I'll try to put that picture up, and then now they're out in a different color scheme, and I do like that too. It's kind of cool, it's kind of fun, and with them only being $1.25 a figure plus another $1.25 for an upgrade kit makes it really affordable, and even the reissues just don't seem to be a problem. It seems like something fun to add to your collection in there. But kids needing a toy line, having a cartoon to go along with this. We're going to talk about this toy line, not the entire toy line, just kind of what you can find right now. Coming up. Alright, so they do have a show. I was only able to find 3 episodes, and it's okay. It kind of feels like it's got the same animation style as Beast Wars, and it's got a couple of fun, quirky little things to it, but it doesn't seem like it's very high budget. Obviously, it's not going to be a high budget presentation selling a dollar toy line, but I'm shocked that there's even a show like this as high quality as it is for a dollar toy line. Very impressive. You didn't even see that for some toy lines in the 80s, so a couple of 3 episodes, pretty cool. Okay, so first off I want to start with a size comparison. So they're roughly around the same size as G.I. Joe's. You can see their heads are smaller. This is Super 7, this one is the vintage one, which I don't have much for, but anyway, it's kind of rough. I got them cheap. But comparing Shipwreck to them, you can just kind of see the height, size, scale, how they kind of compare to G.I. Joe and Super 7. And although they are only the 5 points of articulation, they seem to have a pretty nice design to them. It's pretty futuristic kind of specs going on with them, and that's kind of cool. So we'll start with taking a look at this Specialist Shift, and I think she looks pretty cool. And originally she had kind of like a red costume on. I think this looks really good on her. So this is kind of like Night Force repaints like G.I. Joe did. And with that, I kind of like that. And her head doesn't move very well because of her hair colliding with the backpack. So that's kind of an issue. Interesting that they have that hair flowing back there. But she does have a backpack. She has 2 swords that come out of the backpack that sheath into it. So I think that's a really cool accessory. So for $1.25, you got a figure that looks good with several paint apps all over her. She looks pretty good. She's shaped like a woman too. It's not like she looks like a dude. And it's interesting construction when they're screwed together. So that you could probably take them apart and swap, which I would not want to do. That's not something I'm interested in. Let's see how she holds her swords. She's got these 2 ginormous swords here. She also has an upgrade kit, but pretty cool looking figure overall. And probably one of the, well, I think they're all pretty cool figures. But with that, definitely getting your money's worth out of her. Here she is with the card back and how she looks. Now the card backs are a little bit, I think they leave a little bit to be desired, but they're trying to hit the price point, and so I'm perfectly fine with that. But if you look at this, you start to wonder, aside from the licensing and about 1/8 of a cent of cardboard, you know, why does Hasbro and all these other companies have to charge so much more? Like, these are $12 and they're climbing in price for retro figures nowadays when this is $1.25. Now this is her weapons pack, and she comes with some other stuff, like looks like some nunchucks and maybe a face mask and some things to throw around. Now my problem with these accessory packs, I think they're cool and we're going to see a lot of cool stuff with them, but when it comes to her, she has no way to store all the accessories. Like her swords can go into her backpack, but the rest of the stuff wouldn't store. And I kind of would like, if one thing I would have liked is if there was a way to incorporate everything that they included on the figure at one time, including the original accessories. But I understand that's not a goal, and that's probably not going to happen, but there's the accessory pack for her. Next up we have Sergeant Steel. This is what he looks like in his packaging, which looks kind of cool. And he also has these wings, But I have his upgrade kit on him. So he's got these wings, and I thought there was more to it. Literally, it's molded, just one mold. I think the original one that came out had white or gray or something, but this is translucent, which does look cool. So I use a lot more translucent stuff in this go around in the Elite. But then here is the upgrade kit. Now the upgrade kit, I think, is only the upgrade kit that goes with the original. Right here, it's to accompany the original release where this guy has different color, like a blue costume, and there's a helmet, which I guess my son lost the helmet already, which isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, you go spend another $1 and get another upgrade kit. But this is kind of interesting because you got all these wings on it. You have these missiles which actually do detach. Well, that whole thing detaches too. And then, you know, it's a cheap $1 toy line and cheap $1 upgrade. Some of this stuff kind of has to get assembled. And maybe you want to glue that together and hold it together. But it's got a cool missile. And the missile doesn't... It's cool because you do not kind of detract from the missile by having it own the plug-in. It is plugged in with a tab here. And it's kind of fragile. And then you have this rotating gun, Gatling gun over here. So, pretty cool stuff. Yes, the stuff doesn't want to hold on as well. Some of it, playability, some of these do not hold in place well. But you know, I bet you if my son was playing with it a lot, I would glue some of this stuff into place and just keep it together. But yeah, there it is. That is Sergeant Steel and his upgrade kit. Kind of a fun one. It's a little fragile and delicate. A lot of stuff falls off. A couple of them are like that, but then a couple of them work really well. All right, so the next one we're going to take a look at is Sergeant Ruck, and that is this dude here. But let's look at him in his card back. So all this gold stuff that he comes with is the stuff that he comes with, and the rest is upgrade kits. And the upgrade kits, I do think, enhance this toy line quite a bit. Way more than I originally thought they did. Way more, you know, when I was just collecting them and keeping them in the package, and my son says, hey, we want to open them all up, and we want to do all this stuff with it. So he's got a few things with this upgrade kit here, but you have this backpack here, and then he's got molded in, I think that's molded in. Is that molded in? Yeah, just places to port and put stuff on there. So that goes into this. You have a missile launcher right there, and it does have a missile that just launches and slides right in. So that's really cool. And then this here, now it only is going to plug in one way. So this should plug in on this side to be a front-mounted laser cannon, but it's kind of a rear-mounted laser cannon right now as it goes because you can't flip it around. There's limitations to a $1.25 budget, I'm sure. Then he has these other little kind of Gatling gun looking things, and they do turn. Is there some assembly acquired? No, required? No, maybe not. Okay, so these lower tread pieces, they are connected to this, and they do have movable wheels, which you have to assemble. And then he's got a hole right here, and they all have holes in their feet, but in different places than what you would expect. And there it is. He can roll around on this. Here is his upgrade kit. You have to plug all the wheels in and stuff. You have to do a little assembly required with this, but it's still kind of cool. But this is Ruck, Sergeant Ruck. Next up we have Master Sergeant Steadfast, and here he is, and looks pretty cool. He has a clear arm. Now I can't remember if he had a clear arm in the original one, but he's got a clear arm in here, and he's got a helmet that he wears, and he's got this gun. And this was the first human figure my son wanted to pick up. He actually started with the vehicle. He started with the vehicles in the whole line, and that's what he wanted overall. And I probably won't be able to keep that there because of the glare. But here is the figure with the armor on. So there he is with the helmet on. There he is with his clear arm. And so this plugs into a hole that's in his arm. And then you can plug these other attachments in and do some stuff. So it's pretty cool right there. Up here we have these, is this missiles that fire? Yeah, got missiles that fire out of that. And it's all plugged in. And it is something that could easily fall off. This leg here easily fell off. So you're saying like rough, rigid play with kids, it probably wouldn't be that much fun. But on the other hand, it falls off pretty easy. You can make it look like they got explosions. Here's another attachment that you could pop on and off. Now, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but you can pop these on and off. It just feels like a lot of work there, but that's more attachments. And I don't like it because there's no place to store these. So that's one thing I don't like about it. But when you're talking about a $1.25 upgrade kit for a $1.25 toy line, I do want to point out that he has a trigger finger. They went through the trouble to give him a trigger finger, and it doesn't hold the gun very well unless you have him holding it properly with his, well, sort of semi-properly with his trigger finger. So that's kind of cool. A gold gun. But yeah, this is Master Sergeant Steadfast, and I have to admit, a pretty interesting, cool looking figure. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. The tab's got to go into the hole on the foot. I'm sure my son had it that way at first, and I messed it up. Next up we have ACRM. This is Augmented Combat Rescue Mech, ACRM, and that's what he looks like. And he looks pretty cool. Kind of clear, and mostly clear. The torso seems to be solid, and very interesting character. He did not look like this originally, and I can't remember if he was clear or not, but I know he was a different color. So the gold and black looks really cool, and he does reflect the light very well. And I am kind of going through finding some clear figures that I'm going to use when Crystar comes out from the Marvel Legends. I'm going to do a review of that, and I'm going to have as many clear figures on the table as I can get. I'm going to just try to clear it up that I want a bunch of clear figures on there. Now, there's a whole bunch of holes in this so that the tabs tab in on all of these parts for the upgrade kit. I don't have a second upgrade. I didn't get second upgrade kits of all this stuff. I really only just got kind of the one for my son, but I probably will have another one for my collection, and I just have a mint and card collection. But looks pretty cool. I mean, he looks super souped up with all this upgrade stuff on him. These shoulder mounted things going on and whatever's going on the side. And then of course these can flip around and just be like swords. Yeah, really interesting stuff. That's a pretty cool one. This probably is the coolest looking one out of all of them because it is clear, and his upgrade kit just looks really awesome. But I think his upgrade kit matches his color scheme for his original color scheme better than the Gold Elite. They didn't recolor the upgrade kits, that, to my knowledge, aside from the vehicles. Next up, we got the automated drone P131, and this something you would have a bunch of in this toy line, I think. But I think it's really cool. $1.25, you get this little dude here, and this is another one of the ones that my son just wanted right away. And but I think it looks really good with the upgrade kit. Did not get that upgrade kit, and honestly, I wasn't 100% sure what I was buying when I was buying this stuff. I mean, I'm just like, okay, these dudes look cool, and this upgrade kit's different than another upgrade kit I got, but it can start adding up a little bit when you start adding the upgrade kits to them all, but nothing like having to buy, you know, one wave of any modern action figure. But still, he's got a little bit of articulation on the side here. His head barely moves around, and his legs reminds me of Ed 209 from RoboCop a bit. I really would have liked it if this one more hinge right here could make him stand taller. Feels a little short, in my opinion, especially when he's going up against the bad guys, the Karns. Anyway, this is P131. So I thought I bought one of each bad guy to open and one to keep sealed, but I guess I just completely screwed that one up. Anyway, this one here is Crepitus, and they all have same kind of things. He's the one that has this braid going down like he's in Predator or something. And then he's got a gun here, and I think that maybe he's a face mask or a shield or something. But we're going to get into some of the other figures real quick. So getting into the rest of the bad guys here, this one here I think is the Synthoid, I believe. And with that, and oddly enough, you would think that I would stockpile the bad guys. I buy a bunch of bad guys. But he is interesting, and now the more I mess with him, the more I want to pick up more of the bad guys, because I'm starting to understand what they're doing with this toy line, which is really interesting. So this guy here has, this is an upgrade kit that's on him. The wings and these other pieces, they kind of separately plug in and hold the wings in place, which is interesting. So the wings have articulation because these pieces plug into the holes in the back. But then you can pop his arm off, and then you can like put on this weed-looking thing as an arm. It's a thing you can do if you want to do it. So that's interesting and cool. So all of his upgrades, which I didn't understand this when it first started, when we first set out on this mission, that they're all just swappable arms. So I think, I don't even know what originally came. Maybe the black ones originally came, but there are 2 upgrade kits for this guy. And so we can take the wings off, and then we can swap, put these on, and so he's got this instead of wings, and then we can give him another arm like this, which, by the way, that goes on the other side, I think, but you can also give him a different arm position different. So there we go. And come on. But yeah, there's an example of what you can do with all these upgrade kits. And he has this thing here, which I think it's supposed to clip onto one of his arms somehow and just be like a bug. It's like a gun bug thing that clips onto an arm. Not 100% sure about that, but it still looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Interesting figure, and a lot of stuff you're doing for $1.25. Then he also has a vehicle, and I'm just going to show him in the vehicle real quick just because I can. And this vehicle is the first thing that my son got with his toy line. And I will admit, he said he was really disappointed in this vehicle. He thought it was cheap. I was like, what do you expect for $1.25? But they also have a recolor of it. There's a recolor of the vehicle. You've got the green and all that kind of stuff going on with it. And then over here, you have this upgrade kit, which is, I don't have the upgrade kit for the original one, so I'm just going to upgrade this with this upgrade kit. You slide this over here. I think that's how that works. Slides in like that, and then these go into the front like mandible looking things, kind of whatever angle you want them to, and you have some claws and good times. For another $1, you have upgrade kit, and you turn that vehicle into something even more crazy and wicked and wild. All right, so I think this one here is the Hive class Brute, and I do believe all these bad guys are recolored too. He's got crazy looking face with giant mandibles or something in there, and then he's got an upgrade kit. I think this and this are the upgrade kit, and maybe there was something else that goes with the upgrade kit, but I believe he comes with this gun as like straight out the package. Pretty cool looking. Again, a lot of this stuff was done by my son, and with that, I guess I should have asked him more about this. But this is kind of cool too, because you've got this, and you can store this on his back if you want to. If you want to just have him running around with just this giant thing here. Right? Isn't that the right? Why would you have the tab on there if it doesn't go into the hole? Well, I got it to work. But yeah, it's interesting. Just these, I guess you would think it would be fun to have an army of these and troop build these. And they're really easy because they're very easy to find in the store. And to troop build them for $1.25 each. And then add a couple of upgrade kits. And it's funny too because some of them have different upgrade kits for the same character. And that's something else that I really didn't think. So you could have an army of different figures, but they all look a little bit different. Like your army isn't exactly the same thing over and over and over. They have different stuff. So that's a good idea that they thought of that. This one's Daab Ball, which I think is the leader of all of this craziness, but he looks pretty cool. Interesting character overall. And I believe that the upgrade, so I don't even remember. I think the upgrade kit is, I think everything on here is an upgrade kit. I don't even know what his original weapon was. But he does have this that clips on. I'm pretty sure that's an upgrade kit. And this is an upgrade kit. And he probably just comes with that, maybe. But they seem to all come with a green gun. Anyhow, he has like a really tiny head. And it swivels in a strange direction. And then he's got all that green on him. I do like how they applied this paint because it just looks so different. And it's kind of creepy. Kind of mutagen ooze kind of look. But he seems pretty tough. And I do want to say this. I haven't shown this yet, so I need to kind of show it compared to a human figure. Because these are a little bit bigger than the human figures. So I'm going to do that here in just a second. Let's get him armored back up. Do that. And here it is next to one of the figures. And I got to say that it looks like this would be a daunting foe to go up against your figure. Size makes sense. It really does make sense with size and scale of this. Pretty cool. They took all that into account. So next up I want to say what I think is the most impressive about this toy line is that they can deliver a vehicle for $1.25. That is the most shocking part of this. Like, how did they pull this off for $1.25? And it makes for a decent vehicle. This, and these side pieces, and I think the guns were upgrade kits. So it had an upgrade kit that goes with it that has all this stuff, and it is really cool that they could pull this off. You also have foot pegs for figures to hang off the back and go into battle. And could you fit a Joe in there? Yeah, you could definitely fit a Joe. You could fit any 3.75 inch figure in there for the most part. And that's really cool. And even without the upgrade kit, it still looks pretty okay. Not only could they make this for figures that are $1.25, but kids could afford to have multiples of these. And I'm not seeing where, maybe there's another foot peg where you can hang off the side there. I didn't quite see that. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. Also interesting looking, showing that they're showing this guy's knee articulation when he doesn't in the picture. That's going a little bit too far, but For $1.25, I don't really care. I'll forgive that. Then this is what the upgrade kit box looks like. This is what you get in it. Yeah, very impressive vehicle. And, you know, one of the things is that what can you pull off for $1.25? They also have $5 and $10 price points because there's a jet in there, like some sort of helijet kind of thing. And that would be hella cool. And then also you have a missile launcher. If you can get it in there, I mean, it shoots. It's got some serious launching to it. And yeah, that's another thing. This is another $1.25. So cool add-on stuff and a cool vehicle for an interesting toy line. They're fleshing it out really well. All right, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Final Faction Elite team and a couple of the other things that are in here. I think it really is a pretty cool toy line for kids these days. Quality of the product is pretty decent. 5PO kind of gives me the whole Star Wars vibe crossed with G.I. Joe, but for way less. And it's even way less than what figures cost in the 80s, so it really blows my mind. But I'm curious, what do you think about this? You just look at it as something you want to completely avoid? Is this some cool stuff in here you want to pick up? Obviously, if you're a 6-inch collector, 7-inch collector, these probably aren't on your radar at all. But I'm really shocked that they could put out a vehicle like that for that price point. But anyway, let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe, and Teddy Hanger out.
Hey! No hitchhike!
You make this personal, Daab Ball.
But you need more practice.
They're coming!